In 1912, one of the Jerome mining moguls, James S. Douglas Jr., took out an option on the United Verde extension, only to then be told by his own geological experts that the mine would never be profitable. Almost 2 years later, after digging for thousands of feet beneath the mountain and exhausting the majority of his corporate resources, he discovered a deposit that was twice as rich in copper per ton of material as the much larger United Verde mine just up the hill. This mine eventually produced 320,000 tons of copper, 190 tons of silver, and 5.3 tons of gold. The concrete-lined Audrey Mine shaft is impressive, descending 1,900 feet to the bottom. That's 650 feet taller than the Empire State Building in New York City that stands at 1,250 feet. So we're here at the Bartlett Hotel that was originally built in 1895, and it was the first two-story building in Jerome. It was destroyed by fire and then rebuilt in 1905. So this building originally housed a bank, a drugstore, offices, shops on the first floor, but it had become unstable in the 1930s and was abandoned in the 1940s. The mining company sold portions of it for salvage in the 1950s, and that's why the whole entire top floor was removed. Bedtime at the Bartlett Hotel.
Yeah.
A little bit of abstract art there. You can see down there that the Historical Society has set up a way for people to donate. Get to throw some coins down there in the toilets. See how good your aim is. Maybe even try to make it in the outhouse down there, right? Here's some coins. We're going to donate to the Historical Society. Have a little fun. Nope, missed on. Try one. Oh, that was close, right off the rim. Oh, one. Is this the last one?
Last one.
Oh man, so close. So close. Here's the Saloon, built in 1896, which is also one of the first wooden structures built in Jerome. It had succumbed to fire as well, as had so many other buildings in this town. It's now repurposed as a store called the Firefly. A lot of beautiful artwork in here. Hello. Just admiring your store.
Yeah, thank you.
So this used to be the saloon?
It did, upstairs. Yeah, downstairs was a bowling alley.
Oh, no kidding.
And there's a little history down at the base of the stairs.
Okay.
If you care to go down.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Some images, yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Picture of the saloon. She said there was a bowling alley down here, which is really cool. It's definitely a pretty long, narrow building. Wouldn't be able to get too many lanes in Gotta love these old buildings though. Look at those old bottles. I'm guessing that's from the original saloon. Some old door frames. So this is a pretty interesting story here at the saloon, where the owner's nephew, Walter Vogel, was shot to death. So one of these buildings right here used to be owned by a famous madam here in Jerome named Nora Butter Brown. And there was a pretty cool occurrence that happened where Billy the Kid and Wyatt Earp actually almost got into a gunfight over drinks. So I'm going to put a link in the description down below. Go ahead and click on that link. It's a story by William Wingfield that he had interviewed Nora Brown in 1905 and got all the details, and it's a pretty amazing story, so check it out. It's the old fire bell. That thing probably got used a lot here. This is the Connor Hotel, built in 1898, burned twice. And it had a bar room, billiard tables, card tables. It was $1 per night, which was expensive back then to stay here. The interesting fact here is many of the hotels rented in 8-hour shifts. So the miners worked 8 hours at the mine, and then they had 8 hours to carouse around the town. So in 1894, fires began burning in the mine shafts of Jerome. They had 88 miles of mine shafts underneath Jerome. They burnt all the way until 1918. When these fires began burning, they obviously stopped a lot of production. Over time, they couldn't mine in those shafts any longer. So what they did was they went to open pit mining, and when they did that, they needed to use dynamite to blast the hills. And when they did that, the foundations of all these buildings around here started to crack and crumble. The Jerome jail slid off its foundation, traveled slowly down the hillside for about 225 feet. The jail ended up in the street on Main Street. It was left there for a while, and traffic was diverted around it for a period of time. The Arizona Department of Transportation actually pushed the jail off the street down here to this final location. And here's some more evidence right here of the blasting that occurred in the 1920s and 30s from the mines, where it just decimated the foundations of these buildings. Here's a glass blowing and pottery studio. Oh, look at that lizard. Did you see that lizard? Did you see the lizard? That thing was huge. He's right there.
Oh, on the side of the boat?
Yeah. Wow, that's a big guy. So this is wild. Look at this thing, man. This thing is just standing here by itself pretty much, waiting for the wind to blow, take it over. Old Chevrolet.